Thank you. Thank you, New Hampshire.
Absolutely. Thank you, Bernie Sanders. Congratulations on the big win in New Hampshire. He just totally steamrolled that bitch in New Hampshire, 60% to what, like 38% with O'Malley picking up the scraps. Now, it was a big victory, okay? But unfortunately, it's not enough for him. And let me explain why. He is so far behind right now, it's insane. Nobody's talking about this. A lot of people aren't really talking about this, and a lot of people don't understand how the election process actually works. A lot of people are under the assumption that one vote is one vote, but that's not true. In the states, whenever the state will vote, yes, that's true. A percentage will go to each candidate depending on how much of the percentage of votes that they took. So in that regard, sure, one vote, one vote. But there are things called superdelegates. And these superdelegates are basically held by the DNC, the Democratic Party in general, and there are 712 of them. Currently, Hillary Clinton owns 355 of them already. 355 out of 712. Guess how many Bernie Sanders has? 14. Martin O'Malley only has 2. Uncommitted are 341. So there are 341 uncommitted superdelegates that are currently out there, but Hillary Clinton already has 355. So she's already beating Bernie Sanders, even with the wins that he has, that he made in New Hampshire. And even though she only barely beat him in Iowa, and only because of a coin toss. She only won in Iowa because of a coin toss. It was literally a virtual tie. They only gave her the extra ones because she won the coin toss. It was complete and total bullshit is what it was in Iowa. But he needed way bigger wins than what he got in order to get the Democratic nomination. And this sucks so bad for the American people, because these are delegates that we don't have any say over. They can pick whichever candidate they want. Listen to this scenario. Let's say Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton are close in just about every race that we have from now until the end of the primaries. And let's say that Bernie actually beats her in the majority of them and takes home more of the popular votes than does Hillary. Okay, let's assume that is the case. Let's say that happens. So Bernie actually has more votes than Hillary Clinton does. But unless he beats her by huge margins everywhere he goes, she's still going to win because she already has 355 of those superdelegates. And the 341 that are uncommitted can go to her and put her in the Democratic nomination, even if he gets more votes than she does. And I guarantee you that's what the Democratic Party will do, because the DNC is just as crooked as everybody else is in politics today. The DNC, the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, they're all part of this oligarch system, and they don't like outsiders like Bernie Sanders. Why do you think the corporate media, the mainstream media, has put a blackout on Bernie? They have. They have blacked him out. They have silenced him every chance that they get. They silence this man. You don't hear much about Bernie Sanders' campaign, drawing in 50,000 people into his speeches, and only just a little blurb about it, and then on they go to Hillary Clinton. So they're blacking him out because they don't want Bernie Sanders to win, because he's not an oligarch. He is not part of the establishment. He's been in office for like 30 years now, but he still hasn't went over to the dark side, which means he's not going to do it when he becomes president of the United States. That's why Hillary Clinton already has those superdelegates, because those people want her in office because she is an oligarch and she will continue preying on the weak and feeding the rich. People aren't talking about that, but in order to combat this, Bernie has to beat her ass big time everywhere he goes, and especially now that he didn't win big in Iowa. He needed like 62% of the delegates in Iowa. He only got 50. Well, just slightly less than 50, I guess. And he needed 70 plus in New Hampshire. He only got 60. So even though he just completely dominated and steamrolled her, he didn't take as many currently as he needed to in order to really put himself in the running for it, because the rest of the states, in terms of who wants Bernie, who wants Hillary, it's kind of more of a toss-up than anything else. So keep that in mind. That's why we need each and every one of you to run out and vote when the time comes, and vote for Bernie Sanders, because Hillary Clinton is a lying, murderous bitch that does not deserve the title of even being a human. She is not. If there was such a thing as lizard people, she's one of them. Okay? If the lizard conspiracies are true, she's a fucking lizard. She is that lizard man. Granted, I don't buy into all that, but still, you get my point. She is a liar, just like Obama was a liar. Obama came out, hope and change. Oh, we're going to do this. We're progressives. We're going to make everything great. And then he turned around, did a complete 180, and did the exact opposite of what he said he was going to do. He pushed conservative corporatist policies, and he fed the insurance companies the biggest plate of cash-laden food that he could have ever done. And no Republican has ever been able to give so much to one type of business than Barack Obama did with his healthcare program. That healthcare, the Obamacare, the regulations attached to it were the only thing that I agree with Obamacare, those regulations. And that's the only reason why people got behind Obamacare, was because of those regulations. So what Obama did for the insurance companies is he increased the regulations to make it more expensive and more difficult for insurance companies to insure people, which cut out the small guys, the small independent starting up insurance companies. They had to go away, got gobbled up by the big insurance companies, and now everybody's forced to shovel money into these big insurance companies. And that's what we see today. And it's too expensive. Healthcare got way more expensive than it ever was before. And what's sad is that, Obama's coming out and, hey, 10 million people signed up for healthcare. Yeah, well, what he doesn't tell you is that they can't afford to use it. They can't use it. The copays are too expensive. The deductibles are too expensive. The premiums are far too expensive. People can't afford it. They can barely afford the premiums. They cannot come up with the $25, $40, $50, $100, $150 copay that you have to put out every time you walk through the office doors. So, again, Hillary Clinton is going to do exactly what Barack Obama did, and that is lie to you, right to your face. And I believed it with Barack Obama, but I learned my lesson with him. And I'm seeing the exact same crap come out of the mouth of Hillary Clinton. And not only that, but she is a murderer. She is a murderous, warmongering thief that goes around the world and is okay with killing leaders of countries that we have absolutely no right to dictate anything over. And she's right there behind them doing it. She's pushing for it. She killed Gaddafi. Why? Because she didn't like him. She came out and made all this shit up about Gaddafi. Sure, Gaddafi wasn't perfect. Nobody is. But he provided a lot of things for his nations. I've done videos about it in the past. If you want to learn about it, just go through my video list and you'll see. She is a murderer. She is a traitor. She is a horrible person. She is an evil person, and she is lying to everybody that listens to what she says. She does not believe a word of progressivism. She is a capitalist oligarch, and that's all there is to it. And the people in New Hampshire can see right through it. Hopefully, Bernie Sanders will continue to smoke her ass throughout this entire election, throughout the primaries, because we cannot have another Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, or George Bush, or Ronald Reagan, or any of those other fucks. We just can't do it. We can't afford it as a nation, and the world cannot afford it. When you have 62 of the wealthiest people in the world owning more wealth than 3.8 billion people in the world, over half the world's population, 62% are more wealthy than over half the world's population. There's a problem with that, and things need to change. Bernie Sanders is that change, not Hillary Clinton. So please, guys, get out there and vote. We have to make it where Bernie kicks her ass all up and down everywhere. All right, guys, that's it for my rant today. Congratulations again to the Bernie Sanders campaign. Keep up the good work, guys. I will continue sending in my donations, and I will volunteer my time for the campaign in any way that I can. So if you're from the Bernie Sanders camp and you need something from me, please contact me immediately. Again, this is Tim with Op-Ed Daily. Peace out.